Stop everything right now, because what unfolded in Hollywood that night wasn't your typical celebrity breakup. What started as a quiet whisper about a relationship exploded into a scandal that left the internet paralyzed. People thought they'd witnessed messy drama before, but nothing compared to this. Yes, you heard that right. This wasn't a story that faded after a few hours. This was a kind of controversy that made everyone pause and question what really lurks behind these flawless celebrity facades. It all began with Teyana, the woman known for her quiet strength, the one who always kept her struggles behind closed doors. But that night, everything shifted. She appeared online, drained and haunted, like the weight of weeks, maybe months, was etched into her face. Her eyes spoke heartbreak, but her voice was sharp with fury, the kind of fury that comes when you realize you've been used. Viewers couldn't look away. It wasn't performance. It was raw, terrifyingly real, and undeniably human. And then she said the name. Not just any man. Pierre, the rising star praised as a golden boy of Hollywood. The one who wore a flawless image like armor. The one nobody imagined could be part of anything this toxic. But Teyana's words hit like a blade. This wasn't merely a breakup. This was cold, calculated betrayal. It was as if she had been living in a story whose ending had been scripted without her knowledge. As she spoke, tension thickened. Late nights, odd excuses, moments that didn't add up, hints that Aaron's distance wasn't about stress, not about work. It was something else. Something already set in motion. And then the name dropped that turned whispers into headlines. Harvey. Suddenly, the story wasn't just heartbreak. It was a power play. The kind of celebrity whose very name carries influence, cameras, and clout. And the pain? Teyana made it clear she wasn't just hurt. She was replaced. While she had been building something real, Aaron was quietly searching for something shinier, something more advantageous for his climb. Watching it unfold felt like a punch to the gut, because this wasn't just romance. This was strategy. And everyone watching couldn't help but feel the sting of betrayal deep in their own chest. This wasn't just cheating. No, this was someone treating a relationship like a chess piece in a carefully plotted game. Every moment, every action, it all felt deliberate, messy, but designed to hurt. And here's where it got truly chilling. Teyana didn't just have feelings. She had evidence. She dropped hints about secret messages, odd timelines, and private moments that were never meant to see the light of day. Immediately, the internet erupted. People started asking questions no one had dared to before. Why did certain trips clash with Aaron's stories? Why did Harvey appear at exactly the moment Aaron's attention seemed to drift? Overnight, fans became detectives, piecing together every clue, analyzing every date, and chasing every whisper. The tension wasn't just rising, it was suffocating. Teyana made it clear she was done hiding. She sounded like someone standing at the edge, with nothing left to lose. And then she hinted at the unthinkable. People close to Aaron were already scrambling, trying to contain the damage, trying to silence the storm before it broke. But she wasn't interested in silence anymore. The truth, she made it feel, was already burning, and no one could put it out. Just when the world thought this was merely a messy love triangle, the story shifted again. Rumors morphed into something darker. Suddenly, it wasn't just heartbreak. It was Hollywood politics, image games, and hidden schemes lurking beneath the glitz. The internet waited, breath held, because whatever came next could change everything. And it did. That first wave of emotion didn't fade, it intensified. Darker, sharper, more twisted. The morning after, Hollywood itself fell frozen. This wasn't a breakup anymore. It was a scandal, one that smelled of strategy, secrecy, and careful calculation. Fans began to notice the narrative twisting. This wasn't just Teyana's heartbreak anymore. Pierre, the man once hailed as respectful and untouchable, was suddenly cast in a cold, calculated light. Teyana suggested that while she had poured her heart in, Aaron had already been plotting his next move. She wasn't being left naturally. She was being quietly phased out. And the more people examined the past, the stranger it seemed. Old interviews where Aaron dodged questions about commitment resurfaced. Moments that once seemed innocent now felt suspicious. Was he ever really in it? Fans began asking. And that question alone ignited the controversy, hinting at something far more deliberate than casual betrayal. Then Harvey's name hit the storm like lightning. People didn't see her as a coincidence. They saw timing, strategy. Rumors suggested Lori appeared at the exact moment Aaron's career was rising, perfectly poised for his next image shift. It wasn't just romance. It was business. Teyana supporters connected dots no one wanted to see. Trips that didn't match, busy excuses that contradicted sightings, messages that suggested secrets hidden in plain sight. And then the internet did what it does best. It launched a full-blown investigation. Every post, every appearance, every date was scrutinized. Suddenly, the breakup didn't feel clean. The new romance didn't feel new. It felt like overlap, manipulation, and design. And the most terrifying part? Teyana hinted that she had seen the messages, proof that everything was being orchestrated behind her back. These weren't just harmless messages. These were conversations that hinted at a quiet transition happening right under her nose. Teyana made it sound like Aaron wasn't simply falling out of love. He was orchestrating his exit while still standing inside her life. Fans recalled the thought, heartbroken on her behalf, realizing she had been living in a reality carefully crafted to deceive her. And that's where it got cold. This wasn't just emotion anymore. It began to feel like business. Like love had been reduced to a brand, carefully managed, carefully packaged. Once that idea took hold, the story became darker, more unsettling. This scandal wasn't just gossip. It was a glimpse into how Hollywood sometimes turns intimacy into deals, how hearts become collateral in a game of image and power. Then came another twist. Rumors swirled that people close to Aaron were panicking, that calls were being made behind closed doors, that quiet attempts were underway to silence Teyana before she could speak. And here's the thing. When the public senses someone is trying to bury the truth, it only makes them lean in harder. Nothing inflames a scandal like the hint of secrecy. Teyana signaled she wasn't finished. She made it clear the world had only seen the surface, that the betrayal between her and Aaron, or Aaron and Lori, was just one piece of something far deeper. Fans waited with bated breath, sensing the next revelation could shatter everything. And just when it seemed this controversy had reached its peak, whispers began circulating that this wasn't even about romance. Suddenly, the story was about contracts, plans, almost unimaginable schemes. Once the idea of orchestration and silence hit, the breakup no longer felt ordinary. It felt calculated, cold, and almost merciless. People started suggesting this wasn't just love crumbling. It was a strategic move, a carefully timed Hollywood maneuver. And then the theory that chilled everyone emerged. What if Aaron Pierre wasn't simply moving on? What if he was being managed like a product? The timing of his withdrawal from Teyana, Lori Harvey's sudden appearance, everything seemed too precise, too convenient, too perfectly engineered. The gossip morphed from personal betrayal to corporate-like scheming. Rumors claimed meetings, closed or conversations, and strategizing, not about feelings, but about headlines. Aaron, it seemed, wanted a fresh season, a new image, a partner who fit the spotlight he was chasing. Lori Harvey, with her fame and influence, fit the mold flawlessly. Fans quickly framed it as something darker. Teyana hadn't been left. She had been replaced. Supporters began piecing together clues that once seemed harmless. Aaron rarely spoke of her publicly, always vague, as if protecting an exit strategy. Some even suggested the relationship had been a PR story long, before it ended. Suddenly, heartbreak wasn't just personal, it was machinery. And then the whispers of money appeared. Did Teyana invest emotionally and financially while he was quietly planning his departure? Could it be that trust, support, and resources she gave were being used to build his future without her? The conversation shifted from gossip to something deeply unsettling. This wasn't about love anymore. It was about respect, betrayal, and manipulation. And just when fans thought it couldn't get worse, new whispers emerged, documents, secret agreements, evidence that this wasn't accidental. Hollywood relationships could apparently be scheduled, orchestrated, planned. The public watched not just drama, but a system at work. Teyana hinted she had seen enough to know this wasn't random. She was standing at the edge of a revelation massive enough to shake everything. And then it happened. A new rumor hit that made the entire scandal feel like it crossed a line. Something missing. Something valuable. Something that turned the heartbreak story into something almost criminal. The scandal shifted shape. It was no longer a messy breakup or a Hollywood branding maneuver. It felt darker, colder, dangerous. Whispers spread that the true betrayal wasn't emotional, it was material. Something had vanished during the chaos. Not money, not jewelry. Something far more personal. Creative work, private material, pieces of Teyana's life, her legacy, possibly stolen in the shadows. And suddenly, the story wasn't just heartbreak. It was mystery, deception, and a scandal that threatened to rewrite everything people thought they knew. Tied to Teyana's legacy, the stakes suddenly felt enormous. Fans began whispering that this breakup wasn't really about Lori Harvey. It was a distraction. And here's the part that made everyone stop in their tracks. Pierre's name started surfacing in connection with those rumors. The man once praised as a quiet, polished gentleman was now being whispered about like someone hiding dark secrets. Destiny twisted again as speculation grew. His exit from Teyana's life wasn't just leaving love behind. It was leaving with something he shouldn't have. The tension erupted. The public's questions shifted. This wasn't about cheating anymore. It was about trust, exploitation, and whether Aaron had weaponized her feelings. Suddenly, the story had morphed from celebrity gossip into something almost criminal. Fans replayed every clue, every hint Teyana had dropped, realizing she had been signaling that something much bigger was beneath the surface. And the fallout was fast. Aaron's pristine image didn't just crack. It shattered. The internet turned merciless. Pressure mounted so sharply that people around him began distancing themselves. Lori Harvey's camp, silent until now, seemed to vanish from the storm entirely. The glamour that once protected them disappeared almost overnight, replaced by suspicion and fear. And yet, Teyana didn't appear defeated. She looked different, focused, almost unstoppable. She hinted at proof, at evidence that would ensure the truth could no longer be hidden. And let me tell you, when someone who has been silent for so long finally speaks with controlled power, it becomes terrifying. She wasn't just emotional anymore. She was ready. Rumors reached a fever pitch as fans claimed footage existed, proof that Aaron left carrying more than a damaged reputation. Suddenly, the story wasn't just about choices. It was about actions, consequences, and secrets exposed on the way out. The fallout became unstoppable. Projects were whispered to be stalled, connections quietly severed, and Aaron's future looked suddenly uncertain. Lori, once seemingly at the center of it all, appeared to drift away, leaving the chaos behind. In the end, Aaron seemed utterly alone, the same man who curated a perfect rise now drowning in a disaster he couldn't control. Meanwhile, Teyana transformed. Heartbreak became power. Betrayal became a warning to the industry. And the most shocking part, the story didn't feel finished. She hinted there were still secrets, names unspoken, truths waiting to surface. The internet froze in collective anticipation, realizing this wasn't mere celebrity gossip. It was a glimpse into how love, ambition, and fame could turn ruthless in an instant. Even now, one question hangs like a cliff. What else is hidden behind the scenes? Was this just a messy breakup, or a carefully calculated game? Stories like this remind us that in Hollywood, nothing is ever truly what it seems. The truth, more often than not, is far stranger than the rumors. So, now it's your turn. What do you think really happened behind the cameras? Was it love gone wrong, or something darker? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if this breakdown kept you on the edge of your seat, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the next story might just be even crazier.